Hey guys, Duke from Retro Nonsense here. So the first thing I want to talk about is it is May 1st. It's a brand new month. And the game of the month this month for the Cartridge Club is the one and only Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. So I suggest you guys play along with the club this month. Jump on the forums. It's a great game. And it's always fun to play along with the club and discuss how much you like the game, how much you don't like the game, all that good stuff. So please come along and play with us. It's going to be a good month, I think. So there's that. And also, I was tagged by the one and only Ram Vox. There's a tag going around where you're supposed to explain your 5 most nostalgic games. So he was tagged by Musty Hobbits, another club member. So Ram Vox tagged me. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe do a quick little run through of my 5 most nostalgic games. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to do what Ram Vox did. And his model was he did 1 game per console generation, starting with the first console he experienced as a kid. And mine is the same as his, and that is the Atari 2600. So very difficult to pick my 5 most nostalgic games, honestly, because I have so many memories playing the Atari 2600. And there's so many games for that system, just endless games. So I had a really hard time picking one. In fact, I would have probably picked the one that Ram Vox picked, which was Adventure, because I played tons of Adventure. But I ended up picking Yar's Revenge. I don't have the cart because I don't have a 2600 yet. I have my flashbacks here, and Yar's Revenge I think is on a couple of those, but I don't have the cart to show. But Yar's Revenge, it's a classic game. It's Howard Scott Warshaw created that game. Same guy that did E.T. and Indiana Jones. He's a kind of famous Atari guy. I think I'm saying his name right. I think it's Howard Scott Warshaw. I hope that's right. If not, I will put a correction down here. It sounds right to me. But Yar's Revenge is just a really fun game. It's kind of a weird genre or theme, I guess. You're this bug, and there's this like shield, or not a shield, but a safe zone in the middle, and you're trying to attack this other thing over here, and you go get missiles and shoot at it. It sounds ridiculous when you try to explain it, but it's a really fun game. And I just love the Atari 2600 sounds, and believe it or not, it almost has an atmosphere to it, even though it doesn't have music or anything like that. It just got a kind of a sound in the background, and just the sound effects when the thing explodes. It's just really got a lot of memories. I have a lot of memories playing that game, so that would be my pick for the Atari 2600 was Yar's Revenge. I really enjoyed that game, and it's pretty unique as well, which makes it stand out to me. So next console generation for me was the NES, which is by far the most nostalgic console. If I were to pick a console that is the most nostalgic, that would be the one. But I just wanted to pick one game from there, and for me, that game is wow. I hope it still works. That game is Castlevania. So yet again, this was a tremendously difficult thing to pick. So obviously I'm not picking my favorite game. I'm just picking what is most nostalgic to me. So I just kind of closed my eyes and just thought of what I think of when I think of the NES the most, and what game, if you put in, would just click in the nostalgia for me. And I think the opening scene, you know, when you see Simon walking up to the gate, and he just turns around. That, to me, man, that brings back all the memories. So that's why I picked Castlevania for the NES for this console generation. So that I love the Castlevania series to this day. I still do, and I had all 3 of these for the NES, and I still have all 3 of them now. And I may have played this game more than any other game. So I just love this series. So that's my pick for the NES. Moving on to the Super Nintendo. Another really difficult thing to pick. Again, this isn't my favorite game, but I picked Super Mario World. I think because this came with my Super Nintendo. And I vividly remember playing this in my basement because it was so new. And I love the sound, and when the doors creak open and stuff like that. I just have in the mode 7 when the thing's kind of coming at you and getting bigger. So this really stands out to me when I think about the Super Nintendo. I really think about Super Mario World. So that's my pick for the Super Nintendo. Then you move on to the N64. For me, anyway. And my pick for the N64 was... Sorry. I don't have... It's Ocarina of Time. I don't have that cart. I have, a small selection of N64 games. I don't have it because I don't really want to spend the money on it because I have it on my GameCube to play on this really cool collector's edition disc, which has Legend of Zelda, Adventures of Link, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask on this one disc. So that's why I don't have the cart, because I don't really need it. So, but Ocarina of Time, fantastic game. One of the best Zelda games ever made, if you ask me. And that really solidified for me how... I know the N64 gets a bad rap, but man, I put a ton of hours into that game. And it really... The console had a lot of capabilities. Just some of the games going back don't hold up real well, but that one certainly does. Mainly because the controls are just fantastic. It really kind of was the first game that I remember that had the kind of a lock-on thing where you could lock on and kind of scroll around the enemies. It just really just felt natural and really good. And just a really great game, Ocarina of Time. So that's my game pick for the N64 console generation. Moving on to the GameCube, which was my next console, I picked Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime is, well, Metroid series is one of my favorite series of all time, maybe my favorite series of all time. I often say that Metroid for the NES is my favorite game of all time, but that changes from time to time. But I didn't have a ton of games for my GameCube back in the day when I first got it, because I moved on to the Xbox pretty quickly. But this was one of the games that I did have, and I love this game, and I still love this game. We played it for the club last year, and I had such a good time playing it again. So Metroid Prime is just a fantastic game, and one of the best games, if not the best game on the GameCube. So that is my pick for the GameCube generation, and that's it, right? 2600, NES, Super Nintendo, yeah, that's 5. So there are my 5 most nostalgic games. And again, I did it the way that Ram Vox did it, with picking a game from each console generation. Just thought that was kind of interesting, because if I picked my 5 most nostalgic games, it'd all be from NES most likely, and it would just be too hard to pick. So I think this was a neat way to do it. So there you have it. There's my top 5 most nostalgic games. I guess that's it, really. Nothing else to talk about. I talked about the game of the month. Looking forward to playing that. And I'll be doing another video with the kids probably pretty shortly. All right, awkward edit time. I forgot that I have to tag other people. So I didn't really think about that until just now. I think I'm just going to tag my kids, because, I don't know, I think everybody else is pretty much covered that I can think of. So, yeah, right? Ram Vox got tagged, Veritable Mars got tagged, the Q-Dogs got tagged. I'm not saying every club member got tagged, but I don't know. I don't want to tag anybody that I don't know would be okay with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and tag my kids. So Bobby, Luke, and I don't think Anna will do it. Believe it or not, they claim they have games that are nostalgic to them, even though they're so young. But they have memories of playing like 360 games when they were toddlers. So we'll see what they say. Maybe it'll only be a couple games. Maybe it won't be 5. But it might be kind of fun to see what they consider nostalgic, even though they're only 12, 13 years old. And I don't think Anna has enough game time in to claim that she has nostalgic feelings towards any particular game, but maybe she will. I don't know. So Anna will be included as well. So 8-Bit Bob, Game Boy, and Anime, you were tagged for the next round here. So, all right, guys. Sorry. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.